Sofa Gulayafa is here. Here is Zieglerman. Here. Bati Agdana. Not here. Neither Guzmai. Here. Aniba. That's good. Mayor Rappaport. This one here. Prashant Kusin. Betty Jacobson. Okay, who am I missing? I don't have.
Downstairs.
I don't have you.
You got me. I'm having this first one.
Oh, the first one. Sorry. Okay. All right. The last class, there was something I was explaining, and I said I would need more time to explain it. You know what it was? Do you remember? No? So
So you're talking about the lulav and how you give it to somebody, then you need to
it was
like,
about Luvanessi, right? How
Yeah.
you give it to someone else.
and then you're talking about how like when kids have a problem, they
Give it
can't
to
like.
kids.
connect
That was the issue we said that we need to discuss more, right?
it. And then you're saying how the lulav is in your dominant hand.
Right. So let's talk a little first. Let's show you how to do Luvanessi because we have it now. So basically, you hold it as this was taught. It's here. So someone discussed it with you already, or was just prepared for the class?
The rabbi just said you go.
Oh, okay. So this it's called the shedra, the spine. Yeah, is the spine of the moon. You see the hard part over here, and the binoculars. Spine. And the spine is to be facing you. You pick it up. The spine is facing you. Pick it up in your right hand. If you are a righty, pick it up in your right hand. And then you pick up the esrog in your left hand. This is the pitting. Does it have a pitting? No, there's no pitting. Pitting means the top. It's called in English, the top of the esrog. See, this is where it's attached to the tree. This is the top. Sometimes it's a pitting on it. It's a piece that comes out. Sometimes it grows with it. Sometimes it doesn't grow with it. If it doesn't grow with it, good. If it grows with it and it falls off, no good. Esrog is constant. The pitting comes off. Now, sometimes just a drop of the pitting comes off, like not the whole thing, just the top part. It's called this shishanta. It's called like a rose. That's what it's called, shishanta. Because on top of the pitting is like a little piece. It's very hard to explain without you see it. But maybe now that I'm explaining it to you, and when you see it, you'll see it's a piece coming out. And on top of the piece, there's like this bumpy thing that's on top of it. That even if the top breaks off, but you still have the part that's attached to the top. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? But so then it's still kosher, but it's not as good. Anyways, you pick up in your right hand, first day, pick it up in your left hand, say shech. You say, I'm sorry. Pick it up in your right hand, you say Am Tilas Nur. Say the bracha Am Tilas Nur. Pick it up in your left hand, you say Shechianu. Then you put it together and you do all the shakings. You know which way to shake? Show you? Huh? To the right 3 times. Everything bring it back to your heart. This. Then I guess it's a little slanted. And 3 times forward. 3 times up. Make sure when you go up, you don't knock it into the schach. You have a very short sukkah, very low sukkah. You knock it into the schach, and you can break the tip over here. You could split it, and it could be a problem. We could talk about that soon. It splits. So you go up, this. Up 3 times, then you go down. This.
You always turn to the right when you do that?
Yeah. And the 3rd time, you go all the way back west. So the first 2 times is like this. how many gears, even though it's not required according to Allah, how many Chabad is it that we shake it every time? We shake it every time, shake it. Logically, you don't have to actually shake it. You can just move it. Good. But our custom is, a lot of people are aware of it, but that's the custom. You go like this. You come here, just do a little shake. That's really Chabad. Logically, this itself is also shaking. Then the third time, I'm getting back to what I was saying for the end, go back this. Third time, go back. Esrik. Now, the second, from the second day onwards, you pick up the Zoli Seal to the Slav. And then you just pick up the Esrik and put it together and you do all the shakings. Now, so we said we're going to talk about a child. So we'll start again. We said that the first 2 days, especially the first day, if someone has a little bit esrik, you don't want to give it to a child until all the adults finish benching on the Reuven esrik. Because once you give it to a child, and now you're giving it to the child to do the mitzvah, so you're giving it to the child to do the mitzvah, it becomes his. Now, if it's his, he does not have the ability to transfer acquisition back to an adult. It's halachos, the laws of acquisition, that a minor under bar bas mitzvah do not have the power, according to the Torah, minat Torah, they don't have the power to transfer acquisition of something, which means if you give it to a child, now you take it back, they don't have the power, according to the Torah, to transfer acquisition back to you. So it's not becoming yours again, it's not yours anymore. You don't actually own it. And therefore, the first day, again, I'm going to say the first day, but it's also better the second day too. On the first day, it's supposed to actually be yours. But after the first day, it doesn't have to be yours. You have to have permission. You can't steal. But if you have permission to use it, it's fine. You don't have to actually own it. But the first day, you actually have to own the Reuven esrik. So, but other ways, I don't remember if I mentioned all of this. Maybe I'm just repeating it again, if you know this. But other ways to do with the child is that you can hold it together with the child. So you don't let it out of your hand. You hold it with the child. So you're never giving it to the child. Then the question is, how is he doing the mitzvah if you're not giving it to him? So you can say, it's okay, it's chinuch, just educating him. He's still getting the mitzvah in terms of education. He's getting the mitzvah of shaking it. And others say the child's already like 7, so now he's old enough that he is able to transfer acquisition back. But the best thing is for the first day, and again, whether for the first 2 days, to have a Reuven esrik just for children. Now, we had a question last time, actually looked it up, that is, doesn't mean every child has to have their own Reuven esrik, which means if you give it to a child, the child can't transfer acquisition. So you give it to, let's say you have a Reuven esrik for children. Okay, one child can't do it, and he can't transfer acquisition to anyone else. So how does the next child do this? The answer is, because this that he can't transfer acquisition is according to the Torah. He doesn't have power by the Torah to transfer acquisition. Rabbinically, he does have. And this that children have to bench over esrik is not Torah. It's rabbinically that children have to bench over esrik. But adults have to bench over esrik by the Torah. Children, why they bench over esrik? It's rabbinically that they need to bench over esrik. Are they saying? It's rabbinical opinion because of chinuch, education that they have to, but it's not a requirement by the Torah that they have to bench. So rabbinically, children do have the power to transfer acquisition. In our Torah, they don't have. The first day benching of an esrik is by the Torah. So it's the Torah requires you, it has to be yours. So he has to be able to transfer the acquisition according to the rules of the Torah. According to the rules of Torah, they don't have the power to transfer acquisition. Rabbinically, they do have power. So there's still some power there, they could transfer acquisition. So for something that's a rabbinical requirement, it works, then they are transferring acquisition from one child to the next child, and it works.
So does that mean that only the first day is required? Like
The
like
first
Torah?
day you're required to bench according to the Torah,
And then all the other 7 days are for
rabbinical requirement, right? And again, first day are better the first 2 days.
Right.
Now, in the times of the Beis Hamikdash, they would have to bench of an esrog for 7 days when they were in the Beis Hamikdash. But outside the Beis Hamikdash was always 1 day. The reason why we bench of an esrog 7 times for 7 days, why did 7 days? There's always 1 day. Chacham did not want us to forget about the Beis Hamikdash. Just remember the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, how it used to be. So Chacham said, you're going to bench of an esrog for 7 days to remember what went on in the times of Beis Hamikdash, that they would bench on the esrog for 7 days. That's the reason. So it's a rabbinical requirement to bench all 7 days. That clear? While we're on the topic of Lulav Esrog, we're going to talk a little more about the Halachos of Lulav Esrog, and that is sometimes if you do knock the lulav into somewhere, the top splits. Is the top leaf, the top leaf that could split. If the top splits, it could be puzzle. But it's only for the first day, the first 2 days. So if someone tells you, oh, the top is split and it's no good, it's only the first 2 days. If it just splits a little bit, it's no good. It's better it's not split at all. One of the things people go and they buy a little this, they check the top to make sure it's not split. If it's split a little bit, our opinions will say that it's not good. So we try that it shouldn't be split at all. Yeah.
So you took up the lulav with your right hand, you say Aleph with lulav, and then esrog with your left, and then shachai on the other. That's only on the first day.
Shechir is separate. For lulav like this, just talking about the first state. Okay. Lulav with your right hand. And then you pick up with your left hand and you say shechir while they're separate. And then you put it together and you shake it.
But you're only saying shachai on the first day.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
all the other days you pick up the lulav in your right hand and you say Aleph with lulav.
Then you pick up the esrog.
So you're never saying Aleph with lulav while you're holding the esrog.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
It's just the first day when you're saying the shachar of that.
Right. Correct.
Okay.
Because the bracha is done before we do the mitzvah. Once we
Right.
pick it up, we're already starting to do the
Right,
mitzvah.
right.
Now, lulav and esrog. Lulav and esrog on Shabbos. We don't bench lulav and esrog on Shabbos. And the lulav is in fact muktzeh on Shabbos. It's muktzeh. You know how to move the lulav on Shabbos. The esrog is not muktzeh. The esrog is not muktzeh. And the reason why the esrog is not muktzeh, because we're actually allowed to smell the esrog. Now, when I say we're allowed to smell the esrog, it's not so simple like everything else. Nothing is simple, right? You're allowed to smell the esrog, but it's not so simple. What's not so simple? If you're allowed to smell it. What's not simple is that when you smell it, are you going to say a bracha on it? And which bracha are you going to say? It's questionable if you're going to say a bracha on it. There is a bracha that you say for a fruit that has a good smell. But being that this is for the mitzvah, so it's questionable if it's meant for smelling, and therefore it's questionable if you're actually going to say, you should say a bracha on it. So you're allowed to smell it, but the question is, do you say a bracha on it? Do you say the bracha that we usually say when you smell a fruit? There's a special bracha when you smell a fruit. It's questionable. Do you say the bracha, or maybe there's no bracha? That's what you're not supposed to smell. People are like, it's a habit all the time. I see all the time people. Finish, then you go to smell that. You're allowed to, but the question is, maybe you have to say a bracha, maybe not. Now, you don't want to smell something, just like you don't want to eat without saying a bracha, you don't want to smell without saying a bracha. You have another fruit that has a smell, and you say a bracha on that fruit, then you can say a bracha on the other fruit, include this fruit. That's why the esrog is not muktzah, because it still has some use. You could smell it. The lulav has no function. What makes something muktzah on Shabbos and Yom Tov? When it's something that's dysfunctional, lack of a better term, dysfunctional, sounds like who knows what. But it means that it's not, it has no use for you on Shabbos, Yom Tov. Yeah? But so a lulav, you're not supposed to shake it. Our sage just said you're not supposed to shake. There's no mitzvah of lulav esrog on Shabbos. So what else can you do with it? Eat it? Can't eat it. This you could smell. So there's something you can do with it. That's why it's not muktzah. So the lulav is muktzah, the esrog is not. Okay. Okay. So I think we clarified about this. Did we speak about the schach being muktzah?
Yeah.
We did?
Yeah.
Okay. Spoke about the schach being muktzah. When we speak about that schach is not supposed to be used in a disgraceful way. But 1 second. Why? Before we get there, why is schach muktzah? When we're doing muktzah, when it has no function, it becomes muktzah. Schach has no function. When it has no function, maybe it's functioning the way it is, whatever it's doing. But in terms of you using it, the use that you can have for it, other than what it's doing on top of the sukkah, you can't do anything with it. You cannot decide on Yom Tov and say, you know what? Even Cholamayit, you're not allowed to make use. Muktzah Shabbos and Yom Tov, but because it has no use, the entire sukkah, the schach, once it's for the mitzvah, that's it. There's nothing else you can do with it. I cannot decide on Cholamayit, you know what? We built, let's say this person is a person, he built many sukkahs or large sukkahs, whatever, and he put tons of schach, and he has like an extra sukkah somewhere. He built a lot of sukkahs. He's a millionaire. He built a lot of sukkahs. So you have this part of the property, this part of the land, and there's extra sukkah. And he said, to Cholamayit, and have some excitement. So you know what they're going to do? Make a bonfire. Bonfire, go getting, where do we get wood from? It's too much of a headache for him, right? There's one sukkah available, right? Make a bonfire with the sukkah. You're not allowed. You're not allowed. It's designated for the mitzvah. You can't use it for anything else because it was built for a sukkah. As soon as sukkahs comes in, the kedusha comes into the sukkah. Even though you didn't use it, you never ate it. It's an extra sukkah I built. You built it for sukkahs. You can't use it. So because it has no use, the result is comes Shabbos Yom Tov sukkahs muktzah. That's why schach is muktzah. Yes.
If the sukkah was incomplete or not kosher, could you use it then?
That's a good question. If it was never a kosher sukkah, then it's not a sukkah. Good point. If it actually wasn't kosher. Yeah, but let's emphasize that it actually wasn't kosher. There are many borderline cases
never finished.
What do we never finished? But what makes a sukkah kosher? It doesn't take much.
Walls.
Right. If you have 2.5 walls and you have a minimal amount of schach, it could still be kosher.
But you did say you didn't add the schach.
No problem.
No schach, no
Okay.
sukkah.
But when you say you didn't finish, you have to be careful.
No.
If you're saying I didn't finish, quote unquote, I didn't finish building, what you call finish, it could still be a kosher sukkah. So you have to know that. Yeah.
I think this is more of like a malacha question, but because the schach and the lulav are muktzah, if you're like eating at your Yom Tov meal and like a big piece of schach falls down, Like you can move it, right? Or like if you go out to
Did
eat.
you say they, you said they
Sorry.
are not muktzah?
No. Sorry, I'll start over.
Because the schach is muktzah.
I said, yeah, because the stock and the lulav is muktzah.
Is muktzah.
Is muktzah. If it falls down on Shabbos, then can you move it?
That's exactly why I'm discussing schach. You should
No, I know, I
Yeah,
know,
right,
but
that's
I'm
what-
asking,
that-
like,
yeah, that was the
you
whole
can't,
point.
but you can't touch
So
it.
the
It's not
phone-
like-
Right, exactly. If the
Like, if it falls
schach,
in your soup.
okay,
Oh,
I'm
no.
gonna discuss it.
Okay.
If the schach falls onto your table,
Yeah,
it's muktzah. Not chumrei. Remember,
Right,
Shabbos,
right.
Yom Tov, muktzah, you can't move it.
but isn't there something like
It's
you
like
can do
money.
with your
If
elbows like
something
backwards?
sits in your way, aren't you allowed to move it?
Yeah,
You can move, like any muktzah can move the elbow. I'm telling you that it's muktzah.
okay,
You could move muktzah with your elbow, but it's still muktzah, meaning
Right.
you cannot move it with your hand.
right,
With your elbow, yes,
okay, cool,
but you can't move it.
okay.
What is the sukkah isn't really, she doesn't have a meaning after the
Okay, so very good. So the sukkah, during sukkahs, you can't use it for anything else. You can't make a bonfire with your sukkah.